Hello, and welcome to Thoughts on the Way Home, where I will be giving my thoughts on the way home from Black Panther. Black Panther is the new entry to the Marvel Cinematic Universe about the character Black Panther, and it is incredible. I'd heard a lot of hype about it and tried to avoid that as much as possible to try and make sure that it didn't disappoint when I went and saw it, and it is as good as I have heard it was going to be. Chadwick Boseman is fantastic as T'Challa, the Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan's character, Eric, is a fantastic villain. Finally, another decent villain to add to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Honestly, there was not a bad performance among the lot. Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright, Daniel Kaluuya, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker. Everybody gives an incredible performance. In a cast this size, and it is a very large cast, nobody gives a bad performance throughout the entire thing. Ryan Coogler as a director is phenomenal with this film. The action is some of the most stylish action I've seen in a movie in a while. Visual effects look incredible. The look and feel of Wakanda and the Black Panther, and it just is all incredibly well designed and put together. Honestly, I would say this is probably one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, period. Probably the best one I've seen since Winter Soldier. And I think this is exactly what a Marvel movie needs to be, where it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. This one, for the first time, again, probably since Winter Soldier, this movie did not feel to me like it was a Marvel Cinematic Universe. It felt like it was its own movie, very much kind of its own thing, stands alone. It has connections to the rest of the MCU, partly because it has to, and partly because the story, it's important what's happened in Civil War when we were first introduced to Black Panther in the MCU. But I definitely can see this one being up there as one of those really good superhero movies that's not just a superhero movie. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good comedy. It was just a blast throughout the entire experience, for sure. And I do quickly want to touch on the issue of race in this film because it is one of the central themes of the film. But I don't feel like I've necessarily got the words as to why a film like this is important when it comes to representation. And I'd just really quickly like to share a tweet with you here so you can read from somebody who has a better and more informed perspective on this than I do. Because I do believe this is an important issue, an important thing to see going forward in film. And I feel this film really shows how you can have a story like this without a predominantly white cast, that it's doable, that you don't need to, and it doesn't feel like it's like the token, okay, here's the film that stars predominantly black people. It doesn't feel like that kind of a film. I think that's important. I think we need to definitely move forward more with better representation in film. I'm not somebody who's necessarily affected by a lack of representation in film, so perhaps my voice isn't necessarily the best to speak on the issue, but I do think it's an important one and definitely a conversation that should be had. But in the end, definitely, I do recommend Black Panther, and I do think it's definitely a great action movie, a great superhero movie, a great MCU movie, and just a great movie on its own. And I do recommend everybody goes and sees it. And those have been my thoughts on the way home from Black Panther.